We need an intro. Do you think the best intro is if I just say, I like this one? Well, yeah, let's talk about Kinich. I've been playing Kinich for, the banner went up 7. I've been playing Kinich for about 4 hours now. I like him. He's really fun. Let's talk about teams first and what I liked, what I didn't like. We can quickly brush over Emily. I found Emily an upgrade over Xingqiu. I found Emily pretty similar to Yelan. And I found Emily worse than Farina, which is not really a surprise for my account. But I think it is worth mentioning that I have heard people echo the same sentiment. Take or leave that for what you will. The other thing that is very funny is Kinich has synergy and anti-synergy with Xiangling. So if you don't know, Pyronado is a moving hitbox that revolves around the player 11 times. As the player moves faster and is further from the target, Pyronado's hits will change because of travel distance and time to connect. Technically, the way it works is it has a minimum timer before it can register another hit, and Kinich manipulates this in both positive and negative ways. If you're not aware, as Kinich revolves around enemies, he slowly moves back to create space for him to do his rotation thing. This has an interesting interaction with Xiangling. So if we go and get a Pyronado going, so let's do that. Rapid clicking noises. So we're gonna start by revolving this way. And then now that we're like further away, you can see that Pyronado, despite revolving the same or spinning the same direction, ends up hitting less and less because he's too far from the enemy for moving faster to create more hits. It's actually creating less hits as it goes on. I haven't found the perfect way to do it yet, but I think if you rock back and forth once he's at his maximum distance, you can get Pyronado hits. I'm working on it. Or I'm trying to work on the timing for it. Here, let me do a quick take of that. There we go. And then you do this way. Yeah. So you do a Pyronado wiggle to get hits out of Xiangling. There's an art to it. It needs to be really reactive because Kinich also has different line distances based on where enemies are and the size of enemy hitboxes. Something I noticed against some bosses, he'll loop to the front of the hitbox, so his arc ends up being uneven around the enemy. There's a lot of hitbox jank with that, and it can really be either beneficial or really grief for Xiangling. More often than not, it's really grief. So let's say the best case scenario, you get 14 Pyronado hits. The worst case scenario, you get 8, for example. That's a really big range, and it can be even more extreme. I've had E-skills where Pyronado doesn't hit a single time. That is primarily an AoE because of the way second side of Spiral Abyss is currently laid out. Specifically, I'm talking about Chamber 1. So the way Chamber 1 works is it's these 3 guys. They spawn in one at a time. The first thing is half the time Pyronado doesn't hit the Ruin Drake because he's flying. Annoying. But after you kill the Ruin Drake Skywatch, the Eremite spawns in and Kinich will automatically latch onto them. If you don't move closer to her automatically by sprinting, Pyronado may be just straight up too far to hit the enemy, which is really funny to see. It's really frustrating. I don't know if I'd call it frustrating. It's annoying. So yeah, Xiangling is both synergistic and anti-synergistic with Kinich's gameplay. Luckily, there are alternatives to Xiangling for this character. I think the best one is Thoma. I know some people have been trying to use Dehya or Dehya. This is not something I complain about often, but Dehya's cooldown is too long. Thoma has a C1 that drops his cooldown to 17 seconds. It makes him fit much better into these teams. Dehya, you have to use Sack, which is fine, you can use Sack. It's just jank, and I'd rather her cooldown just be shorter. You also may not notice the cooldown thing. It may be a non-issue for you, so that's awesome. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna try to do more Zenless content. More Genshin content is coming. Did you know most of you watching are not currently subscribed? You should subscribe. And yeah, regarding Emily, take or leave her. I found her really nice on second side when we were testing just damage potential, or just like DPS for my own account. Emily was not keeping pace with the alternatives. So yeah, Emily, take or leave her. If you do get Kinich, pull her on a rerun maybe. It's not like she's even available right now, so we don't need to worry about it. Despite all the Xiangling issues, if you can run Xiangling, I think you still should. She does more damage than Toma. She can get you more vapes on your Hydro character if you have your Hydro character doing a lot of damage. The trade-off for that is Toma gets you a lot more Burgeons. The other thing is, since Xiangling applies more Pyro, you are getting more consistent Scale Spiker Cannons with Toma. Speaking on Scale Spiker Cannons, the default you get is 4 in a Burning/Burgeon team. Sometimes you can get 3 with Toma at Burgeon. It just happens sometimes just because the way the timers line up. If you use Kinich's Burst, you can force a 5th Scale Spiker Cannon. I've seen people mostly recommend bursting at the start of his uptime. So like, do your first Scale Spiker Cannon, then burst, wait for the Scale Spiker, then do that, and then continue to do your Scale Spikers. I found an alternative to that I think I might like a little bit more, which is you burst at the end. So you do 4 Scale Spiker Cannons, and when it says 1 or 2 above his head, ideally closer to 2, you burst, and you can do a 5th Scale Spiker Cannon that way. That's something I found, and I think I might like that more than doing it immediately, because you're making sure you're getting the most out of your Bennett buff, instead of wasting it on his burst animation. Because Kinich's burst just doesn't do a ton of damage. His burst does also generate Night Soul points, so it can make things more consistent, though. So I'll mention both options. I still am not a believer in Kinich ER. Don't build it. Burst when you can. I'm sorry. I'm just not a believer. I don't believe in building ER in Kinich. Something regarding matchups. He does not have the best matchups against Magu, Genki, and PMA. It is odd that they are in this abyss. But honestly, I found it a lot more bearable than I did with Mualani. I've just found Kinich really fun. I've been having a blast with this character. I do still stand by that he's very chill. He's a very free-to-play friendly DPS as well, because of his weapon options and his teammates. I think he's very chill. The way I've referred to playing him is Kinich is like riding a roller coaster. He's very automated. A lot of Kinich's gameplay is out of your hands. If you just hold a button on your keyboard, he'll like randomly weave around depending on where your camera is facing, and he also controls your camera. It's just like, yeah, Kinich, take the wheel. You're up, buddy. It's fun. Some people may not like that experience. I liked it. I had fun with him. I enjoy it. I think if you were min-maxing, trying to do speedrun stuff, it would be a lot more grating and frustrating, but I wasn't interested in doing that with this character the way I was with Mualani, so that makes things really simple for me. I just had fun with him. His teams are simultaneously very limited and also very open because there are a lot of options. This is the build I was playing with on stream. It's okay. I would like it to be better, but it's get what you can get. We're gonna keep farming the Night Soul set. The Sands is tragic. I used a Sanctifying Elixir on this, by the way. Good job, Mr. Streamer. Good job. But yeah, he's chill. He's very free-to-play friendly. If you don't have Xingqiu and you want Xingqiu, he is currently in the shop, so make sure you buy Xingqiu for him. Xingqiu should also be rerunning next update, because allegedly next update is a Hu Tao banner, and Xingqiu is historically always there. So, chill stuff. He's fun. If you are at all interested in Kinich's gameplay, you think he looks cool, I have no problem recommending him. Regarding Overworld Mechanics, his Phylado mechanic is that he can do an extra boost. I like the speed. I wish he could do the second hookshot outside Netlin. He can't. It's fine. It's nice that you can still combo it with Chiori, but in Netlin you can combo it with anyone, so you can like wander or glide out, swap to Kinich, and just start booking it. You also get a lot of speed on the second hookshot. It's quite nice. I don't think it's as useful as Mualani for exploration, just in regards to getting around, because there are so many ways to be vertical in Netlin, but it's definitely very good. And again, you don't have to interact with the Saurians, with the Saurian mechanics. Kinich can just do it for you. So if you didn't want to interact with the Saurians, again, they're selling character skins for them, essentially. He can do all of the Saurian interactables. He can also pick up Fire Fruit, which is something I didn't expect him to do, but he can. So that's awesome. What do I think of strength? I don't think it matters. I think he's a very free-to-play friendly character, even more so than like the Raiden Shogun. If someone were to ask me between the two, I would recommend Kinich most of the time, if that's the frame of reference you needed for strength. I think it's a bit irrelevant. There is currently a Scam Blessing. He gets 80 damage bonus in Spiral Abyss. Yeah, that's Kinich. He's very chill. I like this one. Would recommend. He's fun.